Good morning. If you're joining us this morning, we are going to be talking about search engine optimization. My name's Jose, and we'll get started in just a minute. I'm going to see if any other uh, late folks are coming on, and then if you have any questions, you can use the chat. And right now, since there's only a couple of us in here, you can, I think I've unmuted everybody. So if you can say hi. Do so. And if you don't want to, that's okay too. Let me do this in here. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Like I said, you should have the option to unmute yourself if you'd like to ask questions, or you can put something. I have also given folks the option to send in messages via the chat. If you're not sure where the chat is, if you look at your little window, there's going to be one where you'll see messages. I'll go ahead and send something in there right now, just to go ahead and okay, so really quick introduction. My name is Jose Galvin. I do technical support here at eVetSites. And like, if you're seeing my screen, you should see that this is the orientation. We're going to cover local SEO, claiming your listing on Google Maps, making it easier for clients to leave you Google reviews. They're important. I know that everybody is zoomed out, so I'll try to make this as fast as possible. And we appreciate everybody that's showing up. We understand you have a lot you have a limited amount of time. Pandemic has made it kind of weird. Everyone has used Zoom, so again, we're just trying to share with our client the best way to get their sites to really perform the best they can. A really quick overview on SEO. SEO is short for search engine optimization, and what this is, it's the way of finding out something really quickly. In this case, I'm going to do a search. And if I do a search for Midtown Veterinarian, I'm here in West Sacramento. The VIN offices are over here. There's two hospitals named Midtown, so they both come up. Now, if you notice, this one comes up first. This is my doctor. She is also a VIN member, and she's. I mean, when I say she's my doctor, I mean she's the lady that takes care of our cats. So this came out first. This is a good example of SEO. This is the best case scenario. She's ranking #1 for the map listing and for the organic search results here. Now, I don't see any ads in here, but let's do a more vague kind of general thing here. And then we'll see that here's an ad, Banfield, VCA. We've all heard of these guys. And so these ads are not part of SEO. This is something that is, we're just not going to be able to, I don't want to say we can't compete against them, but it's not part of the definition of search engine optimization. Search engine optimization is trying to get the organic results for Google, for Bing, for Yahoo, whatever other search engines are still out there, and getting them to show as high as possible, hopefully on the first page, so that they can be a contender for the consumers' dollars, right? So in local content then is what I'm trying to focus on here. It are things that will help your site show up, because you're not trying to reach a multi-state international area, right? So for example, I'm in Northern California. Let me see, somebody else is joining us here. Also want to let everybody know that if you show up late and you think you've missed something, I'm going to put this on YouTube so that everybody can see it later. I don't want anyone to think that they're missing anything, or they're going to have to go and repeat. So again, as SEO, as far as a local phenomenon, we're trying to reach people in a local area. So it's important then that the first step, there's things that we can do, and by we I mean Jose and the rest of the team, and that is to put content on the site to appeal to those areas. In this case, my doctor is a brick and mortar practice. They are here. They've got a nice little thing about COVID. And they have this blurb, which is kind of familiar because a lot of eVetSites clients have this same thing. Now, if you notice down here, proud to have clients that include our neighbors here in Midtown and the Doco, as well as clients coming from North Oak Park, West Sacramento, Land Park, and more. So I'll tell you a secret. She is super, super busy because she's in downtown. As most doctors are, our downtown is in Sacramento is revitalized. Lots of new buildings, lots of new condominiums, lots of new places for folks from the Bay Area to move here. But do you notice that I put in these specific communities? And so she's targeting these communities to go in there. I personally asked her if it's okay if I could put this in Doco. It's kind of it's short for downtown corridor, and the reason I did it is twofold. I wanted to experiment, but I also wanted to kind of run an experiment. So the Doco is a area in Sacramento where we have a new. I'll show you really quick. So it's this section here. They call it Downtown Commons. There's a new arena. There's lots of places to eat. There's a new hotel, just all sorts of stuff, right? This is every city has kind of a center like this. So I said, well, since they're building this thing, let me try and put something in for her. So I added that content, Doco in Sacramento. And then what I did is I submitted it to Google Webmaster Tools. Well, we'll talk about that in a second. And when I did that, after a couple of weeks, now, if somebody does a search for Doco Veterinarian, it appears here. Now notice that veterinary shows up even for veterinarian. Google has gotten really good at looking at different words, synonyms, related words, I hesitate to use the word keywords, but they're keywords. So veterinary practice, Doco. They think that Doco is documentary because it is short for documentary, but that's not really the case. And so far, no other hospitals have done this. So I'm pretty excited about that because, well, my doctor's doing well. She's happy. I'm happy. She's not mean when she's not happy, but we want to go ahead and do that. And so here it is. This does not include Doco. Midtown Animal here, Midtown Animal here. Animal Hospital you see is bolded out. And so my point is, if whether you have a brick and mortar location, or if you have a mobile practice or a house call practice, talk about the areas that you service. Talk about the places where your clients are from. It can be as easy as saying something like, we service the communities of X, Y, and Z, or we have many satisfied customers from 1, 2, and 3, where 1, 2, and 3 are the local areas near you. Some other things you can use. You can use kind of regional nicknames for things, as long as they are not too off color. Again, North Oak Park, I put this in here because I think it's funny. I grew up in Oak Park when I was a young man. And just a little quick bit of history. So it used to be a really bad area. My parents moved there because they weren't that well off. And now they're differentiating themselves. A lot of people are saying, oh, well, I live in Oak Park. Oh, yeah, where do you live? Oh, I live in North Oak Park. And it's hilarious to me that people want to live there now, but that's okay. It's become a very nice area. Then now it's become its own area here, which is designated, kind of separate from where I grew up, which was down over here, and it was a little earthier. It's a little trickier down there. I had a couple bikes stolen. My point is that if you want to target any certain area, look for the different places, the names of the communities. As you can see here, here's some nicknames for different places, and include them. And your area. Maybe something might be too far. Maybe something is across the river. As the crow flies, this community over here is not too far from here, but there's no bridge. So, there's not a way for people to get there unless they drive all the way down here. So think about that. Maybe, talk about the areas that are close to you so that you can go ahead and reach them. And if you need help with that, you can also just shoot us an email. You can shoot me an email. Hey, Jose, these are the certain communities that we are servicing. Can you please help us out with this? And, I'll be glad to help out with that. Anyone have any questions on that? Basically names of towns, names of communities, list a couple of them. Homepage is great. It doesn't have to be just there. You may also put something like on the contact us page, right? For driving directions to Midtown Animal Hospital from Midtown and downtown. Here we go, and more. It's a place to reinforce it. The local communities, I can't stress this enough. If you want to show up for a city or a community, you have to have it on the website. Otherwise, it will not come up. Google can kind of guess based on where you are. So if you all do this site, since I'm working from home today, so here's my IP, and I'm using SBC Global, which is really AT&T or PacBell or whatever they are this week. And so they know that I'm not at work, quote unquote. I know I'm not at my office at vin.com, in Davis, California. But they know that based on this, if I go ahead and type in a food item, it's going to give me stuff that are right near me. Right? Here's some places that are all nearby. It's not showing me stuff in Davis. It's not showing me things in San Francisco or Kansas City, Missouri, even though I've been to those places at some point in my life. So, but take the guesswork out by putting in those cities. Okay. Something you can do to improve your listing. So since we were talking about map listings, you're not always going to be number one for different areas. In this case, Midtown Animal Hospital is right here. And if somebody lives in, I don't know, Citrus Heights, they may have somebody that's closer to them. If somebody does a vet, depending on where it is, here's El Camino Veterinary Hospital. They can swing on down over here. It may be shorter. Here, they're right off the freeway. So they don't necessarily need to come all the way downtown. So don't worry too much if you are a brick and mortar location about not being number one for every community. Think about the ones that are near you and be number one for those. And how can you do that? Well, a big part of it has to do with your map listing and your business listing. I'm going to switch browsers here. So this is Google My Business. I'm going to put the link also in the chat window. Google My Business is where you can go in and actually modify or control the information that appears on a map listing. And what I mean by that is everything from the reviews. So in this case, here, let's look at these folks. I know they're not Vinners. I know that they're not part of it, but they're the closest vet to me. So here they've got 93 Google reviews, which is great. There's a fantastic thing. BCA only has 15, and that's because they just moved to this location. Midtown has 135, and so these images here, the hours, the times, and all this kind of information, a website link. All of these are things that you, the business owner, practice manager, whoever you are, however your relation is, you can claim in order to improve your presence. And you can improve your presence by adding images, adding information about the business, really taking the guesswork out. I make my living by helping folks with websites, but the reality is that with the Google business listings, sometimes people get all the information they need right off the bat. So in this case, if I had a sick animal and I wanted to go somewhere that was close to me, I could look here and say, okay, they're open. They close at 6. Here's their phone number. And then if I wanted more information, I could click on the website, right? But this listing here, I can see that there's some pictures, and I see the reviews, and this is a big draw. So some of you may have come for that, and so I'm going to dive into that. Here's the Google Business page. If you don't have an account, I'll try to walk through the process to show it, make it as easy as possible to show you how to claim it. You'll need a Google account. And by a Google account, what I mean is an account that ends with, like gmail.com, or if you have an account that, you use, because you can sign up for an account. Let me go ahead and show you. So if you create an account, you can use an email address that's not at, you can use you can use an email account that's not a Gmail account to create a Google account. It's easier for most people just set up an email account. But if you have an AOL account that you've had for forever, you can use that. If you have your own domain email that you'd like to use, you can use that as well. And if you need help with that process, I'll be happy to walk you through that, one-on-one after this call. Okay, so I'm going to log into eVetSites@gmail.com, and here I am at business.com, google.business.com. Right now, I'm managing 2 sites, one for a doctor that I was helping with SEO yesterday. She's a mobile practitioner. She had some questions, and the eVetSites account. When you first sign up, here, let me do it this one. When you first sign up, if you haven't verified it, it's going to ask you for your practice name. So let me see. All right, so in this case, I had a kind of a fake business that I created a while ago, and years ago when I first started eVetSites, and I don't know if it's that funny, but it ended up appearing on Google Maps, and people were calling in, and my boss at the time was kind of annoyed with it because they called into our number, and the clinic was positioned next to the state capitol. So I don't know how many people did it, but they've since improved their methodology for verifying accounts. So now you have to go through this process. So you put in your business name, it's going to search for it, and then you're going to pick a business category. In this case, it's going to be a veterinarian. You can add a location, right? And then you're going to put in your information. Let me go ahead and see if I can put in something. I'm going to put in my old place I used to work before I worked at Vin. Used to work for a flower shop. All right, so here's this. Uh, is this your business? If it is, it's not. It's going to go ahead. All right, sure. I'll tell them that I do house calls. Okay, so after you've gone through all that, I'm going to put in a phone number, and you could put in a website. Oh, see, they know. Oh my gosh. Okay, so really what they're going to do is they're going to, I'm surprised they didn't do the verification. Okay, here it is. Okay, so this is why I went through this, even though it's kind of a silly exercise. I just want to get to this part to show you this screen. So just like you have to present an ID when you go into a club or something, or you're buying alcohol. Well, Google isn't going to just believe anyone just saying, well, yeah, I've got this business and it's at this address where another business already exists. So what they're going to do is they're going to send you a postcard in order to go ahead and verify that you are in fact at that location. If you don't have a physical location, if you're a mobile practitioner, if you're a house call service, there's still a way to do it. What you'll do is you'll put in your home address. They will then mail you something to your home, but they will hide that in their search results. And I know that there's, I mentioned that because if we do a replay of this, I want people to be able to see this. So the other options here, you can't do this until it's verified. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel it. It's not gonna happen because there's nothing there, right? There's literally like a parking lot right at this location. But when you would get the postcard, you would then go back to your business listing, and then in order to verify it, then you would put in, if you had the code, you would put in the code. Okay, so that said, let me go ahead and switch to another one. So let's pretend that you've already verified the site and you've got this done. And if you have any questions, again, you can always contact me. I love getting folks to have control of their listings. So here is our listing. And so here's what it looks like. We have, wow, a whole 10 reviews. We have another side note. We haven't been very good about asking for our reviews. So if you'd like to send a review, I'd be really happy to get that. Oh, look, here's a doctor that said some. So we're here normally on the corner of West Cavell and Anderson Road. If you're VIN members, this is the famous VIN offices. And here's some street view pictures of the buildings. Here's part of the VINers, the VINgrammers. They're all in here, and normally we're in here in this Peach building as well. You can throw stuff and get our attention. I'm usually in here. Megan's in here. Here's our offices. Anyways, so all this information that's in here, we're open now 8 to 5. Our phone number, the website, this stuff here about National Dog Day, which we could probably update. All of these are things which we can control. And we do that through the Google My Business dashboard. And in this dashboard, this control panel, whatever you want to call it, this is where we can put all sorts of information, our physical location. If we did have a service area, we can put it here, our hours, if there's special hours, hey, we're going to be closed on these days, you know, our website, appointments, if you have a special one, and then services that we do, right? So these are all the things that we do. Your daily offerings are going to be a little different than mine. Here's what we talk about, part about then, and then of course we can add images. So in the images, you can put in pictures of logos, things like that. So, and then on top of that, you know, you can also delegate people. So in this case, it's just me. But if I wanted to add people within the organization, maybe you're the doctor and you're owning it, you're the owner, but you want to give your practice manager access. You can give them access here. They can choose a role like a manager, and then they can help you with, you know, reviews and things like that. Okay, so let's talk about reviews. Here are people that have said some nice things. I haven't responded to some of these folks, and you don't always have to. Some people like to respond to everyone. You know, some people just let them be. You know, but ideally what we want to have is more reviews because they're a good insulation against people that leave the inevitable bad review. Right? So let's go again to veterinarian in Midtown. All right, so here's our doctor, and she's got a lot of great reviews in here, and there's a review summary, right? If we click here to the write a review part, oh no, I better not do that. If you click here, let's go to the lowest rating. So this is, so here's somebody that said something not nice, right? 2 years ago, this is somebody a day ago, 2 years ago, 4 years ago, again, and they've tried to respond, you know, and they're being very nice. Things are difficult. But here is the thing. There's always going to be a situation where you're going to have people that are unhappy, justified or not. I like most people, usually look at the overall picture. If I see that there's 127 reviews and most of them are happy, I'm pretty much going to go ahead and go with the business. Whether it is a veterinarian or a pizza place, I'm going to go ahead and do that, right? So, but the nice thing about that is that the more reviews you have, the better. So how can we make it easier? Well, you could tell people, in this case, go to Google, Jose, yeah, please say something nice about us. Okay, how do I do that? Well, first we're going to have you go to Google and then look up Midtown Vet, and then click the map, and then log in, and then scroll down, and then click write a review. Okay, so that's already 2 or 3 steps too many, right? I'm not going to remember that if I'm wrangling a cat or a dog on my way out of the practice. So what we can do is we can reduce the amount of steps by going into here, and I'll put this in the chat. All right, so first you go into your dashboard. Oh, let me close this out. Otherwise, I'm gonna verify that. All right, you go to your info tab inside of Google My Business. Okay, and inside of info, look for this kind of innocuous little section here. Yours may be different. It's going to be underneath the phone number and above the URL. Okay. In my case, it says eVetSites. This is called a profile short name. Yours can be the name of the practice. It can be some initials, something that is easy to remember. And the reason is this is what it's going to look like. g.page/eVetSites. And so when I give somebody this, I'm going to go ahead and go to my personal account here just to see what I get here. If you give somebody this URL, it'll pull everything up. All they have to do is scroll down and click write a review, right? Now, you can ask people in a variety of different ways to leave you reviews. Our business would really appreciate it. It really will help us. We appreciate your kind words. If we've helped you, we would really appreciate your positive feedback. You don't even have to, you know, and you're going to know who to ask, because in general, they're going to be folks that are happy with your service, right? So, you know, I think Gavin has been asking some folks there. What you want to do is you give people that URL, and it eliminates a bunch of those steps. g.page/Midtown Vet, you know, Cedar Creek Vet, you know, whatever the case may be, is going to be a lot easier than giving them this giant URL, which nobody is going to remember, right? And then you can use this via emails. You can send it as a text. If you send out reminders, you can send it there. Generally speaking, you're going to send it to folks that you see that have emails that end in Gmail. You can even send it even if they don't, but with the folks that have Gmail accounts, you know that they have a login, right? So that's going to make things easier for you. You're going to be able to share that. You'll be able to generate more reviews on there, and make it as easy as possible for people to leave those kind words. And that's going to improve your SEO on the map listings, which in turn can help your SEO overall. A lot of folks now are using mobile devices, and so if you're doing a search in a mobile device, what you're going to get is well, let me see here. You know, you're going to get, I'm trying to see if I could find one where I can show this. Here we go. Oh, it's not doing it. Okay, I guess I have to do that in Chrome. Anyways, my point is that you can make life easier for your visitors by giving them that, and it will improve your search. It'll improve your listing, and it'll give you a little bit of protection against the I don't want to say inevitable, but let's be realistic, against the almost certainty that somebody is going to be unhappy at some point or another, and they're going to go there. And you know, I get a lot of calls from people that say, well, Jose, can't we just remove them? Can't Google just delete it? You know, this is a total lie. You know, my vet tech was very kind with this person and very patient, and we even gave them, you know, some free medication. And I believe it. I mean, I've been on both sides. I'm a consumer, and you know, and my associates here at Vin are doctors, and I've come to really understand how dedicated they are to their work. I don't want to say it makes me laugh, but I just have to shake my head when I hear people say, "Oh, you're only in it for the money." Yeah, right. That's why people go into, you know, this incredible amount of debt, going to school for years and years and studying and doing all this just so they can go ahead and make it, you know, these incredible profit margins. If that was the case, that's, you know, that's not really true. But anyways, again, this is a tool. Use it. If you have questions in setting it up, please let me know. I love seeing folks use this and seeing their reviews start to sprout up and multiply. It seems like once a couple of them start going in, then more appear. And so, um, you know, we want to help you with that. Okay. Let me see here. All right, so I don't have too much more. I mean, I can ramble on for a little bit more about SEO in general, but we can also just set up an appointment ourselves. You know, you and I. We would welcome it if you want to go ahead and just have a one-on-one. I would love to do that. You can do that here with the SEO consultations. What we'll do is we'll use a different program for that. I actually don't use Zoom for that. We use TeamViewer. Just fill it out and say, "Hey, Jose, give me a call," and you know, I'll be happy to set up a time. Usually between 9 and 3 o'clock, Monday through Friday is when I am here, and I would love to do a one-on-one so that we can discuss, you know, anything that we've covered here or anything that I may have missed. Um, you know, we're all about helping our clients improve. We're all about getting you to have your site do the best it can. And so if you have any questions about the process, any questions about, you know, what we've covered, please let me know, and I'll be happy to help. I think I've given everyone the chance to unmute themselves. I'm going to encourage you to follow us on our social media. Um, we have limited the amount of the orientations because, again, we know people are kind of burned out on Zoom meetings and GoToMeetings and webinars and everything like that. So I really want to, again, thank everyone for joining us today. Please join us on social media if you'd like to find out about other things that we have coming up, days off, places, you know, any kind of changes in our schedule or anything like that. Facebook.com/eVetSites, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. I will try and have this up later this afternoon so that in case you missed any part of the orientation, you can go ahead and review it at your leisure. You'll also see past orientations that we've done there at youtube.com/eVetSites. And if nobody has any questions, I'll go ahead and again, thank you all. I really appreciate everyone taking the time to be with us. And please join us next month, and if not sooner, so that we can have a conversation and help you with your listings and your reviews and your website in general. Thank you again. Appreciate everyone taking the time to be with us today.